Hi, I'm Jules, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Let's talk about I Shut. First of all, it's not your personal experience. So when you're writing a track that is someone else's experience, how do you make it? How do you make it resonate?
Well, the song actually does have some of my experience in it, but I like to do that a lot. Is I like to take other people's experiences and kind of look at it from my perspective in a way of like, oh, if this did happen,
Yeah.
or there's always something that I can find in like some common thread
Right.
in someone's experience. So my friend was struggling with insomnia, and I actually struggled a lot with nightmares, and so that was something that we both had in common, is that we couldn't sleep. So that's how the song came about. Yeah.
It's not the first time that you've written about this friend. You've I think I read you were saying like you were writing another song when this one came out.
Yeah. So this song, actually, the first verse I wrote about a year or two ago, and it was for my friend. And so then I took some of that verse and I put it in this new song. So it was really cool trying to rediscover what that means for me personally, and while using her experience. So yeah.
Why did you feel this song or this track was like so important to release it? Especially, it's a one-off track. It's not in a record where it could be, another song from the record. It's a single.
Well, a lot of my other music that I had released previously was totally different, and I had a totally different style, and now I have this new style where it's more electronic music, more pop, indie, and I thought it was really important to let my listeners know this is where I'm at, and also the message of the song.
Right.
So yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about that transition from your older material. How was that transition in sound, and was it a natural process for you? Was it something that you were still trying to figure out what your sound is?
Well, I mean, I think every artist is rediscovering themselves and becoming an artist as they keep making music and keep playing. And so it was one of the best experiences ever because I had been playing with like just me and a guitar for a long time, and I was in Turkey a few years ago, and I came across this band called Years and Years. And so after hearing them,
Awesome band, by the way.
yeah, they're amazing. So after listening to them, I was like really super inspired to go and listen to more of that music. And once I got more involved into that, I was like, you know what? I should try this. And so after I tried it out, I was like, yep, this feels more like me.
Right. Mm-hmm. So how does the studio process change now that you're doing more EDM, more electronic music?
Well, the studio process is totally different now, especially because I get to write with other people, and most of the writing that I did before was all me. So and it's super fun collaborating with other people.
Right. Now, before you actually wrote music, you were journaling a lot. When did you know that your journaling was turning into a song? Like, was it specific writings that you had that you're like, wait, this could be something, or did you just give it a go at trying to write music?
Well, I had always really loved music. And so when I was writing a lot of poetry and stuff, I was like, maybe this can be a song. And so I actually wrote my first song when I was 8, and I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, like, and I had intentionally written it like that. So it has always been like super intentional to go into music with my writing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I love that you came from a church background. I've noticed a lot of singers, when they come from a church background, they have the most incredible voices. They know how to sing properly. Like how did being involved in your church really help you out as the musician that you are today?
Well, I had great mentors at my church where I grew up. This specific worship leader, Shamina, she was super inspiring with showing me how to be on stage and how to speak, and really do it with but from the heart.
Right.
And performing it's totally different than worshiping. So
Right.
that's something I've also learned, but it has been super helpful to have that kind of guidance from her. So yeah.
You mentioned earlier you used to write stuff on your own. Now you're able to collaborate with people. Richard Harris is one of the collaborators that you've been working with. What is it about Richard that keeps bringing him back to every track that you're working on?
Well, I had actually met Richard at a conference at West Coast Songwriters, and it was totally on accident. I was like trying to find someone else to work with from Nashville, and when we had met, everything just clicked. Yeah. And so we have the same music taste. We both love Years and Years, M83, all that kind of stuff, and so that really was super refreshing to collaborate with someone who has the same music taste.
Right.
So, and it's fun. It's really fun. And that's why I continue to work with him.
Now, does he challenge you at all when you guys are writing together? Is there anything that he's done that you never expected you could probably do, especially with your lyrics?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. He has pushed me a ton, kicked my butt, just making me into the artist I am. And, really has shaped me. Yeah. There's by everything really. So he's definitely a big part of my sound. Uh-huh.
What's been the biggest challenge you would say, being a singer-songwriter? What has been the biggest thing that you faced that maybe you're still kind of struggling or figuring out how to overcome it?
I think there's a lot of pressure in, this day and age of being perfect, being, speaking perfectly or singing perfectly. Right. And there's been some people who have told me oh, your voice isn't good or whatnot. And the way I overcome that is I just think my voice is different and my songs are different, and it really depends on the person.
Do you have a way of perfecting the way that you sing or your vocals?
Yeah, lots of comps. I have really great people that I work with who I like when people are honest. So they are my go-to people who will be oh, this sounds not so great and whatnot. And so they help me perfect that, and they catch a lot of things that I don't hear, and vice versa. Right.
Now, we were talking earlier about a name that I just heard for the first time, and all of a sudden it's popping up again. Willie Donut. Are you working with him? Is he producing music for you right now? Are you working on an album? What can we expect from you?
So with Willie, we're great friends. I love Willie. He's awesome. We've done a song together. But for my music, it's just going to be single by single and just kind of seeing how people react to it and going from there. Yeah.
The fact that you're focusing more on EDM music or electronic music, do you see yourself learning how to be a DJ, learning how to produce your own music like that? Or do you always want someone else to step in and help you out in that department?
I've definitely tried. I've given it a go, and I still am slightly interested in that. I think it takes a lot of work. Oh, yeah. And I, especially at these stages, I've just been I know that songwriting is my lane. So right now I feel I just need to keep going in that lane until otherwise, but I'm not afraid to learn things, to learn something new. I'm not afraid of that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Do you have any favorite songwriters like Julian Michaels, Ryan Tedder? The list can go on. Is there any specifics that you would love to collaborate or you look up to?
Oh my gosh. I was just telling my dad this, Jack Antonoff.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I agree with that.
Yeah. And Julia Michaels, as you mentioned, is fantastic. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Well, what's next for you? The single is out right now. Mm-hmm. What else can we expect for you? I know the year's about to, finish. Can't believe it. This year went by real quick. So what can we expect for 2018?
You can expect a video for my song I Shut, and you can also expect some more coming singles. So, yeah.
Awesome. And for those that haven't heard your music, what makes you so different from any other new artists out there?
I'm all about truth. Okay. So especially with I Shut, I'm very intentional with making the song not so there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but being truthful that like sometimes like people have insomnia and sometimes it doesn't end for years and sometimes it doesn't even end, but there are ways to cope with it, and that's something I want to highlight. So that's what makes me different, is that I like to lay it out on the table and I like to be real with people.